stuff. What else do I need to know? I'll stop talking.
I don't know. You're going to give your 5 minutes. They've already gotten a bio of you, so you're going to highlight the parts that you think are important.
Yeah.
When they do their questions, they're going to be allowed one question at a time, and it must be a question, not a statement, not
It doesn't
anything
give
else.
us a total of
And
number of people.
they can come back for a second question after everybody's had a chance to do
Yeah.
their first question.
Question only is 2 minutes respond. 30 seconds warning given by you. May be addressed to specific candidates or all. Closing remarks, 2 minutes for final. 30-second warning. That's not the microphone.
Right here?
I guess. Oh, that's the one for the
Uh-oh.
what do you call it? For the put it right there.
Chief,
Any extra?
you want this one?
No, I don't know if we have any extras.
Do you have extra?
Oh, thank you.
Do we have any extras?
I'll go home and print some, but I won't be here. I'm ready on time.
Since they were sent out already.
Isn't this a,
Microphone,
Oh,
yes.
thank you.
So what?
okay, and Jennifer, I think it will take.
Yeah, there's a handheld one, both of those, that one can be removed from the, you can do whatever you want. You can, if you feel more comfortable trying the podium, you go up, and Celeste will move out for you. But if you'd like to just stand here. I see both. I see both. Yeah, I mean, it's really up to you. Celeste, do you want the little?
Yes, I do.
I stand up.
I'm sorry.
I stand up so very reading up.
We may have a whopping 50 people here.
Well, when people have a choice of staying at home,
Oh, I do watch this here. Yeah. It's not on.
okay, and this is when we're going to pass around for questions.
Thank
And
you.
those wooden things
Appreciate
there
it.
are
Good to
microphones
see you.
for the live stream.
For the live stream.
Okay, so when.
Hey, are you going to wish me good luck?
Sure.
I'm Larry Brennan. See that? Right there. We'll hope make a line.
If
Not
there's
gonna reach you. Well, you might want to vote for me. You don't know anything about me. You know him.
And the candidates are going to come up one by one.
And make sure we have fun, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? Keep the smile up. That's good. We need more people like you in the
Yes, there's only
audience.
one person to speak at the time.
Okay.
I guess Friday. Try to send out the list you need. Okay, appreciate it.
Testing, testing. Hello? No. Can you see the button on this one?
Nifty.
Oh, I heard it. That's this one. We miss Will.
I can
His
hear it,
son
it's
is
just not-
having a
it's not
baseball
up.
game tonight.
Is this part of the house
Normally
system?
he handles all this.
Did you already?
on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right here. Hang on.
It's on?
It wasn't turned on up here.
Okay. They're gonna talk on that. Okay. All right.
Here's what I tell
Be a
everybody.
little higher.
Oh, okay. Well, stand up once you do it, because remember, the microphone works for you. You don't work for it, so let it do all the work. That's about the best it's going to get where it doesn't flop around too much.
That's two of us.
It's good.
Hello. Welcome. This is our candidates night for the Fairfield Harbor Property Owners Association Board of Directors Election 2026. Tonight, we have 5 people who have or have been nominated to run for your board of directors. It's your job to listen to them very carefully and see what you think about them, whether or not they fulfill your criteria and their plans for the future are what you deem important. This is being live streamed, so if you have neighbors who are not coming and don't know it's being live streamed, send them a text, tell them to check their email, and the link is in there. Little housekeeping, there are restrooms in the back there, and also back here, once you walk through the bar and some of the other rooms, there's a restroom there. If there is an emergency and you have to leave, there are exits in either direction. Please turn off your cell phone ringers. You might want to leave your note app up and open so that you can write down notes. Only if you're gonna make me. Okay, you can go out that way, you have your notes to take. They have all picked randomly the order they're going to speak in, and that's the way they're seated, moving from left to right. They will have 5 minutes. While they are speaking, that's it. There are no questions at that time. And we will adhere to the timing very carefully. Once all of the candidates have had their 5 minutes, you may ask the question. You will come up to the speaker and you will ask one question. You will not make a statement. You will not go off on a tangent. You will not give us our history. You will ask a question. If you have another question, once everybody's had a chance to ask questions, then you may come up and ask another one. Just some general information. I know a lot of people in the harbor are relatively new. Our paperwork and documents are on FH-POA. I keep doing FH.POA and it doesn't work. So FH-POA.com. The documents are listed there for the different areas. Even if you have been in Fairfield Harbor a long time, if you've not driven around everywhere, you don't know all that the board represents. So make sure that between now and the time the election comes, that you've gone around to see the whole thing. They're not only houses on this side, they're houses across the way, they're timeshares, they're condos, there's some businesses at the second entrance on the main gate side. This is all part of the Fairfield Harbor POA. So our board of directors needs to represent all of that. So please keep that in mind as you listen. Are there any questions? Okay, yes. Our first part of this, let me make sure I hit all the rules. Okay, you know they have 5 minutes. Is everyone hearing me all right? Okay, thank you. When the candidates are speaking with their 5 minutes, they're going to be given a warning. So Jennifer has the timing warning card so they can wrap it up. And they'll be told to stop, and they will stop. For the questions, we'll talk about that when we get to that point. We'll go over it again. All right, without further ado. Yes, sir, come on up. Oh, and they may not need the stool I'm standing on, so give them a minute. As you wish.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. My name is Jim Anderson, and I am a running for the board this year. And I want to take just a moment to really emphasize the fact that it's very important that all of you hear all of our messages this evening. I think there's 5 very qualified people here, and I want everyone to have that opportunity, the same opportunity, to be able to be heard and to be able to be listened to and hopefully appreciated for what we're trying to do. I grew up in a little town like Liverpool, Ohio. If nobody knows where that is, that's okay. I moved from there to Canton, Ohio to go to college. I went to Malone College, which is now Malone University. There I studied actually a couple different things, but I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in elementary education. I went to work as an educator and taught 5th grade for 15 years. Loved teaching, loved 5th grade. A lot of people look at me and say, how can you stand that age? And it's okay because it's a great age. From there, I went on to become an administrator, and I worked for 15 years in that school district as an administrator, doing several different positions. When I retired from that after 30 years, I continued on as a substitute teacher in one of the local school districts, just fiddling, doing some work with some of the administrators and just having really a nice time, not doing a whole lot of work, but then I got a call as well to become a substitute bailiff in the Court of Common Pleas in Stark County, Ohio. That was an interesting job. We had a lot of very interesting people that would come through the court system, and that is like the Superior Court here in Stark County, or excuse me, Craven County. So it's the not so nice people coming through there. And I had an interesting time doing that. My wife and I then decided that we had always said that we wanted to move to either North or South Carolina. And we did some research, found New Bern, fell in love with it, quit our jobs, and moved. And we did that in 2012, in April of 2012. And we've not looked back since then. We've been very, very fortunate. We love where we live. We were able to rent over at one of the big yellow townhouses on the marina when we first moved here, but then bought our house in 2012. And we have really enjoyed being here. A couple of things that I want to just say that I think are very, very important is that we all are never, ever, always going to agree. There are things that all of us believe should be done differently in the harbor. There are things that some people believe it should be this way, some believe it should be this way. And my belief is it should be what's best for all of the residents of Fairfield Harbor. I think that's very, very important. And I want to represent all of the residents of Fairfield Harbor. In doing that, I feel it's very important that there's transparency and communication. One of the things that I believe wholeheartedly in is that you need, if you elect me to your board, you need to have access to speak to me, to let your feelings known on important subjects, and to be able to discuss them. I'm not going to guarantee you that I will always agree with you, but you at least need to have the voice to be able to discuss those and communicate with those people who you voted to put in place to make the policies and to be here, okay? I also believe that it's very, very important that we look at our security and our safety situations here in the harbor. I believe there's some need for some improvement in those areas. And I also believe that as a board, we need to have very strategic plans in place, whether it be 1 to 3 year, 3 and 5 year, 5 and 10 year strategic plans. I think those are very, very important. And I am being told I have enough time. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And our next speaker. And I'm sorry, I guess I should introduce them in case you can't see them. And I have to look at my list. You are Ann Simpson. So our next speaker is Ann Simpson. She will have 5 minutes as well.
Can you hear me? Okay. Excuse me. I was born in Connecticut and raised in North Haven, which is a small town, a stone's throw away from Yale University.
Speak up. They can't hear you.
Is that better?
No, get it closer.
Okay.
There you go.
My first job was as an administrative assistant in a manufacturing company in New Haven. In 1973, I met my future husband, Don, and a year later, we were married. I attended the Stone Academy Nursing School and later started working at the Emergency Services Department coordinator for emergency services for providers, several hospitals, and fire departments. After several years, I decided to follow my family lineage and their footprints by involving myself in horticulture and floral design. During my career, I became a national flower show judge and served on their board of directors for the state of Connecticut. We moved to Fairfield from Connecticut in 2009. I quickly became an active member of this community. I started on several committees within the harbor. I was elected to the board in 2013. I served as president from 2014 through 2018. For those of you who are not homeowners during those years, they were challenging times, not unlike now. We faced lawsuits, and ultimately the bankruptcy of the company that owned and operated the amenities, the original clubhouse, our community pool, and our 2 golf courses. After the suit we settled, our board successfully negotiated the financing and purchase of the amenities and the remainder of the 385 acres. That purchase was executed by a vote of the homeowners. We believe the property and assets should remain recreational, open space with homeowners that choose to vote to change their use. I'm asking you to choose me to represent you on the board of directors. Unfortunately, I have watched the community lose its confidence in the board's leadership during the past 6 years. The board has become a revolving door that continues to turn a deaf ear to the homeowners' concern and well-being. Their decisions have left the community with massive debt, with no appreciable increase in quality of life, nor resources to maintain our infrastructure and protect our homes just in case another natural disaster happens. It is time the next board majority respects the homeowners and includes them in discussions and decision-making. As a board member, I will bring the approach to the board ensuring your voice is heard and will be respected. We cannot erase the board's previous questionable decisions, but we certainly will not repeat them. We're an evolving community. As our demographics are changing with more families. We are still a community of retired homeowners on fixed income, but all of us want affordable community, and that is the responsibility of your leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our next speaker is Richard Edwards.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Rich Edwards, a 3-decade resident and property owner in Fairfield Harbor. I grew up in eastern Long Island, and I studied architecture at the New York Institute of Technology before starting my construction business in 1982. I relocated to Fairfield Harbor in 1995, and after passing my North Carolina General Contractor's exam, I was one of the younger residents, along with my wife, Lynn, living in Fairfield Harbor at that time. A claim I can no longer hold at 67 years old. I have served this community for 30 years. My experience in managing employees, outside contractors, and budgets could help the POA board save some money. I'm well versed in the community's declarations, bylaws, state statute 55 and 47F that govern this association. A little more about me. In 1975, during my high school years, I formed a band with my friends, and I performed over 20 years for weddings, dinner dances, fairs, and festivals. And this experience really enabled me to develop an ability to interpret audiences' preferences effectively. Additionally, throughout my 44 years as a contractor, I've honed my skills listening attentively and working diligently to realize clients' aspirations. I lived in Fairfield Harbor for 30 years, longer than most residents. I've watched both golf courses operate. I've seen the original clubhouse bustling with homeowners and witnessed our community's growth and challenges, including the hurricanes and lawsuits. Recently, after the COVID shutdown, board leadership has made some questionable decisions with lasting impacts. They funded this multi-million-dollar facility and moved our offices without really meaningful input from the community or above. These choices will affect our finances for years. The board's role should be to preserve the community, not to reinvent it. Our community needs a POA that values members' input. With a large population, we face challenges like the golf course and restaurant losses, ongoing lawsuits, and shifting demographics with younger residents seeking new amenities. These issues require guidance from the membership and not just 7 board members. Our declarations are the rules that guide this community. They state the harbor was to be designed to offer pleasant and vacation living conditions. Over the last few years, we have strained those pleasant conditions, but as a community, we can reorganize and get that back. One way is to make sure that the board follows these declarations. They are limited and old, and I'm not talking about the board members, it's the rules, but in 1978, we were granted voting rights, and over the past several decades, previous and current boards have consistently limited members' ability to an opportunity to vote. While we can't really probably vote on every issue, it's essential to enable members' input on major changes affecting Fairfield's general appearance and the financial obligations. I believe the POA board should consider alternatives before opting to increase dues. As a contractor, I've had to find ways to achieve clients' wishes when their eyes are bigger than their pocketbooks. I believe we have options to explore, and these options should always involve you, the property owner. The time has come for a new approach, and I'm committed to leading a change on your behalf. It's your community, and as a board member, I would always make time to listen to you and your concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. They're doing great, moving right along, aren't they? Our next speaker is James Anderson.
No, that was me.
I'm sorry. Very British. My notes were run.
That's fine. No offense taken. Yeah. Well, good evening. I know you probably have some better places to be, but obviously you're showing your concern by being here, seeing it live. Maybe you're watching at home, but you want to know what's going on. Will there be some changes? I even see some current board members out here listening on. Who are these people that want to run in these positions? So let's back up. Once again, my name is Larry Greenwich. I may look old or I may be younger than you. It's hard to tell. But I've only lived here a year and a month. Okay, a year and a month. As most of you, as you heard, the 30-year member. Now you got the 1-year member. My background is 50 years ago. I don't like to say that, but 50 years ago in June, I decided to do a delayed enlistment in the Air Force. So that we'll be celebrating that anniversary on the 3rd of June. Active duty came later on Jimmy Carter's election, for those of you who remember Jimmy Carter. But let's go on. Did 20 years in the Air Force, administrative. I don't have a construction background, a teaching background, nursing, or hospitality and agriculture. I've been an administrative person helping people out with your officer, enlisted your family to get from one place to another, do anything that facilitated your career. After 20 years, they said, move on. I then went into the private sector for 7 years working for a manufacturing company. After that, a job opening came up at the Air Force Academy. Doing what? Running a PowerPoint slideshow for whoever. So I got to do that and help people again, whether they were superintendent or cadet. And then finally, my last job was with United States Northern Command at Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado. Once again, doing audiovisual for the 4-star general down to the Marine, the Navy, the Coast Guard, the Canadian officer, some of the things that you may have seen for those who are fortunate enough to see my background. Again, that's all customer service related. So I never had to make decisions. I was in a sense following them or implementing them. So it brings us to today. Somebody who I would say who's part of the community asked me to run. Otherwise, I didn't have the reason to run for a position here. After I listened to the other people you're going to hear speaking from, you have a very good group of people who want to be on here. Think about it, you got 5 people running for 3 positions. I think that's very good that you have that type of quality caliber people who want to be here. So my role in it is that I want you can approach me on anything, talk to me about what's going on. We're all members of the community. Obviously, your money is important. Everybody eventually is in fixed income, including myself now. I was just a recent retiree. So you want your money to go as far as possible, and you want to spend wisely. So hopefully that's what this upcoming members of the board will work with the existing board members to make sure that's done, where they can, give you the positive feeling that they're not doing something that you may be against, but at least get your feedback. And with that, I will quit while I'm ahead. Thank you.
And last but not least, is our candidate, is William Eichelberg. Did I say that anywhere near right?
Yeah. Close enough.
Okay.
I'll try not to remind you that they usually save the best for last.
Very good.
Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight's Meet the Candidates event. This year's election has significant importance. While all elections are important, this one is special for some very basic and important reasons. Before I get into that, though, I'd like to give you a little background on myself. My wife, Roberta, and I moved to Fairfield Harbor 2.5 years ago from Wisconsin. We live 17 miles south of Green Bay, near Lake Michigan. Yes, we are diehard Packer fans, and we love bratwurst and cheese. But I do not own a cheese hat. I grew up on a farm in southeastern Wisconsin. We grew fresh market vegetables and cash grain. Looking back, it was a wonderful way to grow up. I learned responsibility and developed a strong work ethic. I have over 25 years experience in agricultural marketing and sales. A major component of my work required the development and implementation of detailed budgets, an experience that will help me quite a bit on the board. Another aspect of my previous jobs required the development and management of committees, also an important responsibility. In addition to my ag background, I have 15 years' experience in the hospitality industry. For 10 years, I worked at a large municipal convention and expo center. We hosted local, state, national, and international events. I had a great opportunity to gain extensive knowledge and experience on both the front and back of the house operation. I feel this gives me some unique insights and perspectives on our new Harbor Club. Over the years, I have served on 10 various boards. I was president of one of those boards for 3 years. The knowledge and experience gained will be important for me while I do serve on this board. Now for the business at hand. We currently have an annual income of approximately $5 million. This year, after expenses, we have roughly $1.5 million in carryover. Fast forward to this year. On day one, we added an expense of $708,000 per year for the next 15 years for the Harbor Club. We also learned this year at the budget meeting that Truon is actually budgeting a $400,000 to $500,000 deficit, and possibly more for running the golf course and the Point Restaurant. Suddenly, we are 1.1 to 1.2 million behind. The proverbial sprinkles on this cupcake is that Truon has offered no plan to try to rectify the budget shortfall. We are just supposed to accept it. We also find ourselves seriously underfunded in our emergency and contingency funds. Soon, we will be entering hurricane season in an underfunded capacity. Added to that, if the storm should hit us, it has been brought to our attention that FEMA will no longer assist gated communities. Last time, when Florence hit, only last-minute local pressure helped to get FEMA into Fairfield Harbor. Now add to that, we are facing some very necessary and needed repairs and upgrades to our streets and stormwater infrastructure. From here on out, the repairs will be an ongoing budget item. We are anticipating at minimum $1 million a year to be allocated for that. Where will the monies come from? We need to consider all reasonable options. The Harbor Club will never be a source of revenue. It will be a money black hole for the next 15 years. We will need to make hard choices and decisions as a community to meet our obligation. Your input will be invaluable in addressing that. Additionally, we have some changes and upgrades to do for the community at large. We plan to appoint a committee to review and upgrade the DORs and the bylaws. We need to make them relevant to today's standards and needs. We need to do this to make sure we are good stewards of your dues money. We also need to review our relationship and operations program with Truon. We cannot accept a deficit proposed for a budget. Community input, consensus, and agreement are all back on the schedule. There will be no more closed-door, backroom deals made by the board. This is our community, and we should and will have the final vote of 50+1 for approval of all major projects and programs. As we continue to grow, we will need your input and help. I ask for your support, your vote, and your guidance. We are in this together, and together we will grow bigger and better. Thank you.
Some of us need a little lift. Before we get to your questions, there are a couple of things I would like to remind you of. None of the current board members are running for re-election. It is these 5 candidates who are up asking for your vote. They're going to join 3 other board members who have stayed on. And so there are 7 members, and I guess there are 4 members that are left. 7 members in total on our board. Those current board members that are remaining would be Don Moore, Lee Fawcett, Neil Watts, and Don Butterworth. If you can't remember everything these people said tonight, their bios have been sent to you, and they were sent out on May 6th to your email address. If you're not getting things in the email, talk to the POA office. It's time for you to do your questions. Oh, I'm sorry, they're running for 3-year terms, each one of them. It's time for your questions. If you would line up at the mic, please ask one question. And Jennifer will time the respondents. And when you ask that question, you need to say who the question is for. Do you want to answer from all 5 candidates or one candidate in particular? Are there any questions for me before we start?
Why didn't we do a pledge of allegiance?
I'm sorry?
Why didn't we do a pledge of allegiance when we started?
So I chose not to.
Good question. Yep, long time.
No other reason than that. So, okay, people with questions for a candidate? Come on up.
Hi, I'm Kathy Belrose, I live on Library Post Drive.
Closer to the microphone.
Oh, sorry,
Help us out.
I'm not quiet, so.
You don't mind.
Anyways, my name is Kathy Belrose, I live on Library Post Drive. And I wanted to ask any of you that want to answer. Actually, I'd like a quick answer from everyone. If you were on the board, and would you have voted for the clubhouse without a vote from the community? I guess, had you been on the board, would you have voted for the clubhouse without a vote from the community? Yes or no?
All right, want to come up and answer that?
Yes and no.
You want to use that microphone?
Yeah, pass the microphone.
Yeah, you can use that. Yep, there you go.
My answer would have been, I think it would have been free to get community opinion, okay? Very important to get community opinion in everything. Community vote, not necessarily, but community opinion, I think, is vitally important.
Having been here during that time, there was quite a difference between what we thought was going to happen and what in fact happened. There was very little in meetings or any interchange with the board and the community, in my opinion. I would have loved to have seen a vote of the community before this building was built.
I would have voted for this building because without a community vote, this is a brand new financial obligation, and every new financial obligation should be voted on. Where a lot of people are on fixed incomes, so basically these things are very important to people. Did we need extra space? Probably, but there again, community input is important.
It would appear that, yes, when you're expending a lot of funds like that, we should get your input. And then that may help determine how much or how little you want to spend. It's obviously in a community like this, you need a meeting place. I'm not sure what caused the other location to be removed, if it couldn't be rehabilitated. But yes, get your input, and then that, the board can then determine the appropriate financial consideration to take and go in that direction.
My thoughts on this have always been that anytime there is a capital expenditure of somewhere near this size, it needs to be voted on by the general population. And should I be elected to the board, I make this promise to you tonight, that would be what happens.
Is there another question?
Peter Batinowitz, 6,005 Stern Board, and it's to the full board. With the revolving door that we've had at Harbor Point with restaurant managers, chefs, and assorted people, what's your goal to stop that and to get Harbor Point on a profitable footing?
Wow. Oh, why don't we start here?
It's a great idea. I believe you're talking about the Point Restaurant?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't had many opportunities to go to the Point Restaurant in the past few months. However, I understand that there are two new people, Sue and April. One's a manager, one's a chef. New people always have new ideas, and in some ways, that's a good thing. I'm not sure where the disconnect is between the actual people working at the Point and the administration of this community. It seems to me that there's been an awful lot of flip-flopping around, which means that unlike some other restaurants in Newburgh, they're very consistent. It may not be the best food, but you know what the food is that you're gonna get. At the Point, it's not consistent. And if you have a restaurant and you wanna get money made, you need to be consistent, you need to be on time, you need the hot food hot, you need the cold food cold. And that's about it.
Okay, you're gonna get this answer from me twice because basically it was in my closing statement here. But I'm gonna tell you kind of what it is. I would support, we get a committee of the people that live in this community that have a restaurant experience. And there's quite a few that have owned restaurants. And I think they would be valuable to try to find ways of, that we don't lose money on this thing. There's no way that we should be losing money on a restaurant when we pretty much have a captive audience here, okay? So there has to be a fundamental problem, and we need to find what that fundamental problem is and change it. And this way, like I said, at least we can get the restaurants should be making money for us.
I almost want to ask a question to answer your question. Do you, the majority of you, just raise your hand, do you eat there at least once every 2 months? Okay, I've lived here a year, I've at least eaten here 3 times, talking about the Point, because I live in Barkentine, so we're close to my home. Obviously, you're telling me by your question that the revolving door is a lot of changeover in personnel, therefore that affected the quality of food, is that what I'm hearing? And did you voice, no, I'm seeing yes and I'm seeing no's. Did you voice that and nobody just responded? Okay, so again, the new guy on the block, we don't know how to fix it right now, but here's a problem, so then let's get a committee together and find out what does work and what doesn't. That's the best I could do as the new kid on the block. Thank you. Right there, he's good.
I guess that makes me the moderator of the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
I echo some of what Rich has been saying. I think we have a wealth of knowledge and experience within our membership here, and we need to bring them together in the Blue Ribbon Panel Committee to take some time and decide what and where things need to be. Now, keeping in mind the fact that True does have the overall management responsibilities at this time, which means we will have to bring them into the discussion as well to make sure that everybody is on the same page. I think personally that we can get this turned around. I don't think it will look like it is currently, but I think we can offer a good quality product at a reasonable price that people will take advantage of.
Good answer.
One of the things that I did not say in my opening is that I have just about 9 to 10 years of restaurant experience. And I've looked at the Point Restaurant overall, and I think the Point Restaurant, since its conception, has grown quite a bit. If you remember, it was extremely generic when it first opened. There's been a lot done to it to make it more aesthetically appealing. Now that does not change the food quality, okay? And I'm gonna be honest with you, we've had really good meals there and we've had not so good meals there. And knowing from what I know from the restaurant business, when you have not so good meal, people hesitate from returning.
Mm-hmm.
And the not so good meal spreads out much faster than the good meal does, okay? So we need to keep in mind that that restaurant can be and should be profitable for us. We need to dig into that, see why it's not, see how close we are to making it profitable, and continue to work to make that what we can be proud of here in the harbor.
And is there another question? Come on up.
Come on down, come on.
My name is, can you hear me? My
No.
name is Doreen Willock.
Closer, come on. Don't be afraid.
My name is Doreen Willock. I live on Mona Passage Court. Several years ago, there was a plan to sell off a portion of what we call green space for development of patio homes. The green space is a treasure. I think it's one of the most important treasures of Fairfield Harbor. I want a yes or no answer. If you're elected, would you promise that you will do everything within your power to not sell off any of that green space for development? And it would be just to be used as a park or for the enjoyment of the residents of Fairfield Harbor, nothing to do with any kind of a venture such as a contractor to build houses or.
Thank you.
Or sell it.
Okay. The green, I was here for, of course, 30 years, so I went through all of this, all right. They had the survey of 5 different types of things that they wanted to do. The main thing that was picked by the property owners was that they wanted no development whatsoever, okay? That was the promise, that was promised to everybody in here, and that promise should be upheld, and I will uphold that promise.
Yes, this is something answer you will like. Yes, as a new person here, yes, keep it green space because that's why you moved there. You didn't want a home behind it, so keep it that simple. I would have done one of the same thing. Okay?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Yes, the green space will stay the way it is. That's one of the things that makes Fairfield Harbor great and something that gives everybody enjoyment and exercise and fresh air. So definitely we keep the green space.
I'll make mine shorter. Absolutely, yes.
I'll make mine just as short. Yes.
Well, that was easy. Any more questions? Come on up, sir. If you guys have questions, feel free to line up.
Yeah, make it exciting. Come on.
Michael Conley, 1107 Carrot Drive.
A little louder, please.
Oh, okay. I've got the same question for each of the board members. It's obvious that the board needs to go in a different direction than it is currently. If you each had an opportunity to make a major change in the board, what would it be?
When you say make a major change in the board members or what the board does?
Oh, what the board does. Something you feel is the most important for the community. That much.
Well, you can't change what the past is, but you have enough input now, because you're an example of everybody being here, that you're concerned about what happens, so therefore you voice that. The board should hear that, and then that should help them to make a better informed decision. Am I headed in the direction you're going?
Okay, your interest is to increase the communication.
Absolutely. We have more than enough ways to communicate. And that's what I said in my biography, you may have not seen that, is you can never over-communicate, okay? If you have something as a board that's a possible decision, please communicate it over and over before you make a decision, because that way everybody hears it, because not everybody hears the same, especially men. Sometimes we're not listening. I'm not a good listener, so I have to work at it harder. So if the board is looking at something down the road, and hopefully it's something that you as the community wants, they shouldn't just be doing that because they want to do it. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so we have one vote for communication.
Absolutely.
My thoughts on this, as I said in my opening statements, I'm going to be challenging people to come forward. I want to see more activity with the committees. I think we need to take a look at the committees and perhaps redesign, revamp it. The more input we can get from people asking for and helping us to develop for the future, it's going to be all inclusive. It'll give people an opportunity to buy in and own what's being done. It shouldn't be from the board down, it should be from the bottom up. So, and that's the way I intend to run things. But it will be from the bottom up. It will be to ask you tell me what you need.
Okay, so we have one vote for residents participating more in how they govern.
Correct.
The community. All right.
I think it's very, very important that the board begin to make concrete, established, time-sensitive, strategic plan with input from the community. So communication from the community in order for the board to do a strategic plan, whether it be 1 and 3 year strategic, 3 and 5 year, 5 and 10. I just think it's very, very important that we get a lot of input and we have a strategic plan, which anybody that's been in business knows any strategic plan is going to help you budget more accurately than just budgeting on a whim. And I'm not saying the board is doing that now. I'm just saying that a strategic plan is vital, in my opinion, with communication from the community in order to establish what is it that we want to accomplish in this community in 3 years, in 5 years, and how do we budget that?
Okay, so we have one vote for having a plan and following the plan with our vote. Okay.
My plan is to change the recent change to 67% for people to remove a director. From 50 plus 1, they changed to 67%. It's almost impossible to get a vote of 67% of this community.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you basically, if I had to have, something, it would definitely be changing the bylaws and also getting in order the declarations in this community. Okay, one of the problems that we have is that the declarations all come due at different times. So it may take years to do this, and it should have been done years ago. But at some point, you have to start so that we can get these things in line. This way, when we want to make changes as a community, because we get to vote on those declarations as property owners, we can all vote on the same thing at the same time. So that would be my thing.
Our next question is?
I'm Louise Paterno, I live at 810 Home Drive. And going back to the restaurant, what I didn't hear any of you mention was the hours. And a lot of people are complaining because a lot of the seniors go in for a lot of the events. They camp out with, their water and maybe a few little snacks and waters and whatnot. So they're not turning over those tables. So I want to know if anybody plans to extend the bar hours at least and try to make the money where the money actually comes from, which is the bar. And give, some of the younger families time to get in there and utilize the bar. And, I guess going forward, maybe if everybody just kind of gave a few of their actual goals and what they plan to achieve in their
That's
3-year term.
2 questions.
Yes, it is, but again, the restaurant was already asked, so I couldn't, ask it the way I would have asked it.
All right,
So,
let's handle the restaurant hours first, please.
Well, as I had said before, I don't have a set program in place. I think there are a lot of people here with the knowledge, with the experience of having run restaurants, and we need to take advantage of that. We need to have them come together. We put together a plan. That plan is presented to Troon, and we work together to try to get things done. Just us dictating to them is not going to get it accomplished. We have to do this cooperatively so that everybody can buy into it. So if you want specific hard numbers, I can't and won't give them to you because that would be foolish for my part.
Having been, having been in the restaurant business, I can tell you that there are many factors that affect that bottom line. Many factors. One could be hours, okay? If you address the hours, first of all, you've got to see, okay, what hours are we not providing restaurant business? And is it an appropriate hour to provide that, okay? I see some food trucks out here that provide breakfast. Is it appropriate that that be removed and we offer breakfast at the restaurant? There are different things we have to look at to see what hours are appropriate. Is it appropriate to stay open later? Is it appropriate to open early? Is it appropriate to open on the days we're not open? Keeping in mind that all of those things, extending the hours, opening when we're not opening, doing those things, costs more. Is it going to be cost effective? Are we going to have the people there that are going to pay for the staff, pay for the overhead, pay for what's there that we have to be open for, or is it not worth that time? So I can't give you a solid answer because it has to be looked at and see what is appropriate, what can we do, is there enough business? Because if there's nobody there, it doesn't make any sense to open extra hours.
I think that part of the problem over at the restaurant is, from what I hear my friends and neighbors say, which is, we want food like, for those who have been here around a while, Spunky McDougal's. Spunky McDougal's is a place in Newburgh. Go someday. It's not fancy. It's usually packed. I don't know what their hours are. I can't speak to that, and I don't think they do breakfast, but I'm not sure. And it's been a repeated theme. Please, let's have this type of food. Also, it's a golf course. The guys like to come in, have breakfast, and go play golf, come back, have a beer, maybe have lunch. So I think we've got competing sections of the community wanting different things. And so it's hard to make one decision without maybe another survey. I don't know. But I do know that there's a great amount of people that want, bar food, basically.
The restaurant, I think, first of all, we need to get a handle on knowing how much we're paying for food, how much we're taking in for food, how much money we're spending on the liquor, how much money we're coming in on the liquor. From that point, I think we understand where we're at money-wise. Money-wise, as Jim had said, that basically I think that's what will take you to hours and so on, if we can expand stuff. But, right now we're losing at least probably about 150 grand on that. So we definitely need to get, first of all, the numbers under control.
Once again, we see, but the hot button issue is it's the restaurant. So it's very simple. You have a man in the end down there, understands restaurants, hospitality and conference center. They would probably, if you didn't hear them say, you have to look at it, study it, find out what's working, what are the costs of food, what's the cost of labor, so that you can then adequately determine, is this a profit-making business? And are you all willing to do it? Because again, you're only a small portion of the community. So I'm assuming everybody else, there must be a lot, if you're representing 2 or 3 other people, this must be a really important issue. But again, let them study it for a while and find out what you can do. They're smart, as I said in my bio. There's always smarter people that you contact to find out what does it cost to run something like that, and can it be done better? And sometimes it's knowing the community in the restaurant industry and have someone move here. The next great chef of the United States, pick somebody off of the Food Network and say, move to Fairfield Harbor, because that's the place you need to live. Think outside of the box, folks. You too have input. If you know somebody, invite them here to be work at a restaurant. I'll leave it at that. Come on, you more, come on.
Our next question is?
Hi, my name is Judy Bork, and I live on Owen Passage for the last 2.5 years. My question is directed to those of you who have been living in the harbor for 10+ years. So I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've been trying to learn a lot in the last year, especially since I've been here, about the history. And my understanding is pre-Florence, the Harbor Club that was here was taken out of use. My question to you is, can you help explain the history of what happened from when that building was taken out and the decision to build this building? Because my understanding is that there had been a vote early on from the people that were here during that time. And I would like your opinion on what you know about the history.
I'm going to pass this pretty quickly, because when we moved here, the old building was still here. And the knowledge that we have of the old building was, we were one of those people that probably would have been arrested We walked around it, peered in the windows, and we were eager to see, what's there. And we looked at tables that were still had china and silverware and linen napkins and linen tablecloths on them. And it had been closed for over a year by the time we moved here. We walked around down behind it and looked in some of the offices, and there were computers. There were, it looked like somebody had just left there yesterday. I don't know exactly, other than the bankruptcy of the company. I am not aware of anything else that happened. I do know in stories that I've been told that it was a haunted place, and there were a lot of parties and dances and good times had at the old clubhouse. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. As far as the new clubhouse being built, I don't believe there was a vote for that.
No.
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't believe there was.
I can't speak that much about the olden days where the beautiful Anchor Pool was a wonderful place to go, and it was a beautiful place where everybody was very happy. But what happened was, in my opinion, it began to disintegrate or fall apart or whatever bad word you want to use for it. It needed too much repair to be fixed. Then the lawsuits came, and then it was determined that we could not rebuild it. It was too far gone, and we needed a different solution. That's the best way I can describe what happened before. I can tell you that there was no vote for building this building, and that's about it for me, but I'm sure Richie can tell you some more.
Okay. We did not own the old clubhouse, okay? You have to remember, this place has passed the amenities from Fairfield Incorporated to the HRC to Mid-South, 385. There's been a lot of movement of everything, okay? As far as the clubhouse is concerned, okay, the old one, there was a committee before anything was being purchased in here, all right? A group of property owners got together and they formed the ARC committee, okay? This committee went and they spent money on looking at the golf courses, how much money needs to be put into them, the buildings, on how much money it is going to take to renovate stuff and things. And I still have the paperwork from the art committee that basically said that the old clubhouse at the time, okay, could have been renovated for about $700,000, all right? Why it was torn down? Somebody, and it's somebody which we have no idea, made the decision that it just wasn't savable, which I don't know if that's true or not, but according to the art committee, for $700,000, it could have been saved. So that's as much as I know about it.
There you go.
Thank you, and our next question is?
Van Williams, 1723 Territory Drive. My question is, to get back to your point, everybody's talking about we're going to study it and do all this stuff, make the point successful, but isn't that what we're paying Truman to do, and managing? They should be studying it and determining what is going to make it profitable. That's what we're paying for. is the way I
Would
see it.
you like everyone to answer
Do
you?
you agree with that? Or do you think we should take on that responsibility when we're paying through the door?
I have to be really careful here. I don't know the answer to that question.
I really truthfully do not know.
We only missed budget by $10,000 for last year, so we are not far off.
Okay, Jennifer just said that we missed budget by 10% 10,000 last year.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. She says it's a very little bit.
In comparison.
However, what about how many people actually go to the point? Is that an issue for you?
Golf is more of an issue. We're losing golf. We're
Okay.
losing golf big.
But if you could, it seems to me that people aren't going to the point a lot.
Today it was packed. I went today, how much it was packed. I mean, it's hit or miss.
It's hit, okay. As I said, I don't know.
She's
The answer to the
standing up
question.
here answering the question at the microphone.
Sorry.
So answer the question at the microphone. Are you gonna answer the questions at the microphone?
We're answering the questions here.
Go ahead.
All right. As far as truths is concerned, I would pull them into a meeting, really. I mean, you know, and there's some hard questions that have to be asked because we're paying them, I believe it's $250,000 or whatever. And we shouldn't be paying $250,000 and losing money. I don't know what the contract says. That's one of the things that we would love to get into, being on the board and pull all the contracts for everybody and review everything, because I think it needs to be reviewed. All right, that's basically where we're at.
You go first. Consider it.
All right. Yes, definitely, I mean, Troon right now has the contract to be operating the facility, and we should be relying on what they say. That unfortunately hasn't proven to be too successful over the last few years. I think we need to sit down and reevaluate it. Again, there's a lot of people that have experience and knowledge in the industry. Perhaps the focus has been in the wrong area. I don't know, that's really not my area of expertise, but what I do know is that we can't come together unless everybody's on the same page. So it's going to take some time, it's not going to happen overnight, but by bringing people together that have the knowledge, the experience, and the motivation to get it done, I think we can do it. I have some thoughts on the matter, but that's for another time.
So you heard it from the other four people. If you're on the board, you start discussion. Obviously, it's a hot button item. Give people time to get with people who are experts, find out what works and what doesn't. You can't give me an answer right now, but obviously that's a concern. You're making that loud and clear. So the board members with whatever house has to go on, they can make that an agenda item. You come to meetings, if you have input, you know, you do when you do questions, but between this building and the restaurant, yeah, it sort of concerns me that that's the only thing, and that sounds like I'm not in agreement with you, but obviously it's a hot button item. I don't know a better word to say on that. So now they know something that they need to work on if they're on the board or with the current board members to solve this problem. That's the best answer I can give because it's a future. You can shake your head, but that, you know, it takes a while. Is what? Okay, well, the new board will take that on and see if it solves the problem they want to tackle.
Yes,
I didn't
he wants to
get a chance
respond.
to answer. Thank you.
You're a tough crowd.
I personally think it needs to be a cooperation between the two organizations. Troon is our management company. The board is your management company. I can say it that way and make it make sense. There needs to be a cooperation between the two groups to come together, meet, and decide what's appropriate to get this restaurant running better, or the golf course. Again, what Jennifer has just mentioned is that we're not that far off from breaking even in the restaurant, but the golf course is one more problem. So what can we do getting together with Trim, getting some input from them getting our input, getting input from you, and how can we work cooperatively to correct the problem. I don't know that there is one solution to the problem. There probably isn't, but it needs to be investigated between the two to come together to try to figure out a cooperative way of making that golf course and that restaurant profitable.
Yes, sir, your question.
The management this is Ray Simpson at Castleton Court, been here since 2012. The problem is the management company. They haven't managed this community or their job for the last 7-8 years. They've been losing money ever since that they've been in charge. They need to go.
And I will remind you, please, it's a question time, not your statement time.
Well, I can give you a question.
You used your time, sir. The next person.
No, I was quick. The question is, will you try and get a new management company to help this community? There's your question.
Is that for everybody or one person?
You go first. I go first? Oh, gee, thanks. Okay. Personally, like I said, I would pull them into a meeting and, let's start with the contracts, let's start with the thing. Would I entertain changing them? Yes, I would, okay? Stop it there. I got claps. Stop.
I think
That's all right. Don't matter.
that Richie probably put the nail on the head. I think that we need to see where we are before we just make any huge decisions about any contract, true or otherwise. It would be unfair and wouldn't do us any good just to start ending contracts when we don't know what is in them.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Again, it's cooperation, it's knowledge, it's getting in, digging into it, seeing see where it rests, see where it all is. I would not be in favor of just saying, let's fire Trim. That's not the appropriate response. The appropriate response is, let's find out what we can do to better what we have.
You are a tough crowd. Again, you're bringing up things, obviously they haven't been responding. What you're telling me as a new person, and look at your faces, has some of this stuff not been satisfied to your content for a while? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you, Dan. So, again, if I have a elected to the board, yes, let the board talk about it, work with the management company and find out what's working, what's not. We're not gonna solve it tonight, right? Obviously, you're unhappy it hasn't been solved in the past, but you have to start somewhere and you gotta compromise too, okay? And then you also have to then frequent these places, use this club, and you need to use the restaurant based on the decisions they make in the future. I don't know what they're gonna be. I'm willing to work with anyone, and you get with experts to do that. Thank you.
As I said in my opening statement, it's unforgivable to have the management company come to us at the budget meeting and knowingly budget for a $400,000 to $500,000 deficit. That's totally unacceptable. The company has been hired to make us strong and healthy financially and to move us forward. Running a deficit doesn't get us there. My thought to it would be that once we have a new board in place, we will call the management team from True to come in, meet with us, we'll review the contract, and we will also look to get from them a 3 and 5 year plan on what they're going to do to turn this from a deficit into a profit. If they are unwilling or unable to do that, then we need to take the necessary next steps.
And our next question, sir.
Dan Ritter. Gentlemen, lady, the fact is, we don't know whether the point is making money or losing money. We don't know what the golf course is doing financially. Repeatedly.
And your question is?
I'm getting to it. If you let me, if you don't interrupt any longer. Repeatedly, this management company and board has continually refused membership records that they make requests for. Repeatedly. In violation, I might add, state statute 55A. What I want to know from you gentlemen, are you willing to enforce, and lady, are you willing to enforce the member's right to request information in a timely manner? Just a matter of the way we should be doing business as a membership board relationship. Not even speaking of 55A, state statute. Are you willing to move forward to get the membership the information they request in a timely fashion?
The quick answer to that is yes. We need full transparency. We need full accountability. We need, in order to make proper and well-educated, well-designed answers and plans, we need to know what's going on. It needs to be clarified, and we will make that happen.
The answer is transparency. That's a simple answer, transparency and communication. Let me finish. Thank you. Transparency and communication, finding out where the budget is, making direct goals to accomplish that budget, and trying to get everything seen by our community and input from our community so we can continue, or so we can start making strategic goals and strategic plans so we can see exactly where that transparency is and how we can become more transparent and more reliable to our community and get those items out to you so you can see them. And I think the transparency, planning, all of that goes into that answer.
My answer is really short. Yes.
I believe that I'm the only one sitting up here that has ever done records request for the association. And was it difficult? Yes, it was. We had to threaten with a lawyer to get documents. That should never happen, okay? You're entitled by the statute to get records, and that should be provided to the property owners in a couple days. That's how it should be, and that's what I would recommend, that we do it that way.
Yes, you should have the transparency. If there's not a law or something that we're violating, then you should get it as soon as possible.
Yes, sir, and your question is?
My name is Don Yuska. I live on Carrick. I got this directed, I was directed to Mr. Anderson first because I think it was in his platform that I want everybody to answer it backwards or give their opinion. In your statement there, in your platform, that you put out there. The community is, safety and security is an essential to our community. What would you change what we have going now? And what would you try to do to improve our community in those two segments?
One of the things that I think we need to take a look at is our security and our gates. I'm not aware of what the contract looks like with that security company, but we lived here prior to the new security company, and I thought our security was far better when it was our own people doing that security than it is the company that we have now. That's just my personal opinion. The other things that I see as safety problems, and please don't be offended when I say this, because let me explain it. We are a golf cart community. Our golf carts on the roads sometimes are extremely dangerous. And I believe that this community it needs to take a little bit more initiative to control some of that, because this is something a lot of people don't realize. When you put your winter cover on your golf cart, you completely hide your brake lights and your turn signals. You ever follow somebody in the winter, you have no clue what they're doing, okay? I think that's a safety issue that we need to address. I think we need to address, and again, my wife and I walk all the time. When a car's coming toward us, we get completely off the road. There are many, many times when I'm driving down the road and people are walking on the road, I have to stop to let the other car that's coming the other way, when all that person had to do was step off the road. I just think there's a lot of safety issues that are going on like that concern me and worry me. And I don't want to see us ending up in a lawsuit because we haven't addressed those.
I'm sorry, sir, did you ask for everyone else to give a comment?
Yes, I did. Thank you. For their opinion.
On the second part about safety, that's always been an issue with the golf carts, and they're more and more fancy, tall, faster units. And as they get faster, taller, I think we should look at that in a way that might be able to solve the problem. My safety issue is I don't know what you call them. They're like a scooter, only it's one single piece of wood but it's electric. It's an electric scooter. They are probably more of a hindrance to this community than anything else. Typically, not always, one of my neighbors who's older than I am has one, and he does a good job. He knows the rules of the road, but typically they're younger kids and they're just all over the place. So there's a lot of security problems. As far as the front gates go, I believe that there's several different security companies since I've been here. And as those companies change, their contracts change. And so I think, again, we need to look at what the contracts say and what they are allowed to do and not do. I hope I answered part of your question.
Okay, safety and security. Where should I start? Okay, first of all, I don't think that we need to have any more rules imposed upon us unless the property owners themselves vote on everything, all right? If you're voting on it, then you're gonna agree to the rules. Front gate. I was here before we had gates, okay? There was no gates in Fairfield Harbor. Right now, I was also here when you called security, they'd come to your house. You went on vacation, they'd come check your doors. And at least 4 or 5 times a day, you look out your window and you'd see them ride by because they were going around the community, all right? Granted, a lot of them were retired police officers that lived in this community, but that was one thing that, at least when you called them, they came to help, okay? Not that, hey, by the way, now, call 911. I don't think we're getting our money's worth right now.
Safety is very important. I'm on a bike, I don't want to get run over by a car or a golf cart. That hasn't happened yet. So yes, it could, you're implying that it could be better? Is that where you're ready with your question? Could safety be better? Is that what you're?
That was my question asking, Mr. Anderson.
Okay.
Brought that up, and I just wanted to get his opinion on it, because he started, or he
Okay.
put it out, and I just wanted to give him first shot, and then the line, yes.
And once again, some people, just by their time here, said security's been done in different ways. And obviously, there's, again, the new guy in the block, forgive me, you're not happy with some of it, so then let's find out what does work and cost effective. Maybe it is volunteerism. My goodness, I can volunteer, I'm young, I'll do it. But if there's a problem, then you let us know, and then again, and we have a ton of these committees and study groups, I'm assuming, not the study group to push it off, but to make something happen faster. If that is where you're going with that.
More or less, yes, I just wanted to
Yeah,
know.
I would agree with you, yeah. Find out, is there security issues and what is the best way to do it money-wise, because we don't, nobody wants to spend more money. Okay, if you can do it within the budget you have, that is good. But again, let's find out what does it cost, and has it been a cost to any of us? Has anybody had thievery, stolen cars, something like that? Again, I don't know, but I'm assuming we're in a safe community until you tell me otherwise, I'm not.
To the question of safety, where do you begin? My wife Roberta and I have come repeatedly to board meetings. We live on Ibis in Birdland. We're at the intersection of Ibis and Bell. There's a stop sign there. You sure as hell wouldn't know it by the way the cars come flying through it. We have asked repeatedly to have something done, only to be told there's nothing they can do. So this goes far beyond golf carts, kids on scooters, people who won't step off the road when they're walking. We need to have a comprehensive review. We need to decide, first we need to find out just what we can do. I've been told many things by many different people. We have to develop a plan, because apparently nobody else is going to make one for us. In terms of security, we really don't have it. We have window dressing right now. We have gates that don't necessarily work. For whatever reason, they don't like my car, they don't like me because they won't let me in most of the time. We paid a lot of money for that. Anybody who wants to get in here can get in here. I mean, this is kind of a straw man situation. We need to have a discussion as to whether or not we even want or need security. Like I said in my opening comments, FEMA will not come into a gated community anymore. We need to think about that.
All right, I'm going to ask the next two people to step aside and let the person behind them ask the question, because he's not had the opportunity.
Hey, I'm Jim Roberts. I live at 2040 Royal Pines Drive. And I've been here 3 years, and I watched this last year, the year before, and the year before, where it's the board, transparency, committees, studies. And that's all true. I don't discount any of it. But you guys are campaigning on the same thing they did last year, and they're making a lot of improvements. In deference to Dan and anybody else that is involved in longer-term controversy, fine. My question is, do you see that it's not necessarily that board, this board, whoever's on the new board, that maybe we have a structural problem here, right? There's no incentive whatsoever for that restaurant That's other people's money. These people blame you, you blame Truman. And these guys all yell at each other. It's getting old. What do you think about the comment that there's a structural problem with this kind of a situation, with this organization? That's wrong.
You're holding the mic.
Yeah, well, if you want mine. I see one board member look like he was shaking his head like he thinks there's a structural problem. Is that true? You don't have to comment. That's a valid point. Again, here let me answer this real quickly. I'm sacrificing my anonymity here of living in Fairfield Harbor to be involved. Again, I'm not complaining, but what I'm saying is, I would hope that all this, what's going on, I am on, you sitting in the audience, coming here saying, what is the problem here? What makes this place tick? Or something?
That's the problem.
Okay, so that's a good reason. I'll hit that later on. I'm glad you said that. But obviously there's some deep-seated things going on here. I'll hit that in my closing remarks, and I'll let some other people speak. But thank you for your question. Sure. Good evening, June.
Okay, structural issues. As I have stated before, I think that we definitely have to get a committee together. It's got to start on the DORs, get them in line. We have to get the bylaws updated. We're working off of everything that's 1970, okay? And basically, it's not working in 2026, okay? We also need to be kind of like other communities. The bylaws have to be in the hands of the property owners. That's where they belong. The only thing the board needs to do is when a person or the community votes to have something, then it's our job to go ahead and amend those bylaws and adopt them, okay? That's all we have to do on our end, it should be, okay? Everything should be in the hands of the property owners. That's how you're gonna stop a lot of stuff that's going on here. But until any of that gets changed, you see the problem start with, it's 50% plus one vote. Oh, the board changed it to 67. They should have never be allowed to do that kind of stuff. No, the property owners have rights, and the rights are, it was 50% plus one. That's what it needs to go back to. You start screwing with all that stuff like that, where we don't have no control over it, then we don't have no control over the community.
I don't know what you mean by structure. Do you mean restructure the board? Is that your
No,
question?
what I mean is, when these folks want to hold somebody accountable, it's the board, and that's how it's set up. And when there's an issue, it's true. It's Amanda, it's Jennifer, it's whatever, and it just goes around in circles. When these folks disagree, they talk to each other. None of that solves anything. What I'm saying is, structurally, you have a management company that's working with, called OPM, other people's money, okay? There's some guy in Arizona making $150,000 a year, sitting there making decisions about our restaurant. That's a problem. They're not gonna bring their best and brightest into a place that's failing. That's not how it's gonna work. So, and we need to learn, or get in the restaurant business, or get out of the restaurant business. That's a structural problem. Golf too, that's an amenity, a restaurant's not an amenity.
This is a community that needs more than just restructuring. I think it needs a thought process as one, so that we can get together and try to stop forcing issues upon each other and work together. I think it's an issue that's been going on for a few years now. It has caused much heartache and a lot of money, and it needs to stop. That's what I think.
Excuse me, I see a structural problem as well, in that I'm not sure there is a true vision, a true goal, a true plan as to where all of us want to see this community. Okay? That we need to have a true plan of a true mission, a true vision. This is a beautiful community. There is no question. This is a beautiful community. But how many of you have seen a true plan from the board with input from the community as to where this community should be and will be in 3 years or 5 years? I've never seen one. Okay, I looked, I found one, but there's no measurable time, there's no measurable, there's nothing that tells me 95% of our community will hit this goal in 5 years. Okay, that's a measurable plan. I didn't see that, and I worry because that is structure. If we want to see this community grow, we need to find out from all of us, how do we want to grow? And how are we going to get there? And that's a true plan to improve the community.
I would agree with what your assessment is. We've had some discussions among us, and I brought up the comment that basically what we need to do when we get a new board in place is essentially take things down to the studs. You talk about restructuring, that we don't have the structure, we need to rebuild it. We've been trying to be all things for all people in the last few years, and it hasn't been working. So we need to get some concrete plans in place. Rich is 100% correct, and that we need to take the DORs and revitalize them, bring them up to today's standards, so that we have current underlay to work off of. We have to have a heart-to-heart talk with the management company, because from my perspective, it ain't getting it done. And we need to do something about that. We either need to come to a consensus with them, or we need to move on. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not if you put a new board in place in June, that by September, everything is gonna be sunshine and roses. It's gonna take time to get this accomplished. It took us time to get to this level, it's gonna take us time to get back out of it. But you put us in place, we'll get it done. The other option you have, you can make me king. And I'll take care of it all.
That said, that it takes time. Do you recognize progress?
As of right now,
As of now?
no,
Okay.
I don't.
All right, we've got 2 more people in line for those 2 questions. Then our candidates will give their 2-minute closing remarks. And someone earlier asked about their goals, and I'm hoping that's going to be covered in their 2-minute wrap-up. Your question?
I am wondering if, on the board, if you will look at the contract with our current attorney, Hope Carmichael. I think that she has been here for a while, and I'm wondering if we can possibly take a look at that. And also, I'm wondering if you will make public the Host America contract that no one, I haven't seen, and I don't think it's public, and we need to know what that is.
I think as all one, I think everybody has agreed with this, that all contracts need to be taken a look at and just so we have some knowledge at least of what's going on.
For the community.
For the community, absolutely. I think everybody needs to know, are we spending, what are we spending on these contracts? And, I come from a public realm. There's very few things that are less public than all the figures in an education system, because they all have to be by law. And, in school systems, have this kind of, what are you paying here, what are you paying here, it's there. And it has to be on file, and it has to be public. And I believe that, do we need to know all the nitty-gritty, dirty little things in the contracts? No. But there are important things that we need to see in those contracts that are vital, okay? As far as Hosted America goes, I've not seen a contract for that either. I've only heard, and I think that's what everybody has said. We've only heard, and we've seen what's been reported to us, but what's really happening?
I agree, Hosted America never really gave us, or the board, never really gave us any inkling of what the contract might or might have not said. And I think that's a goal that we all have here on the board, or hopefully, if we succeed in winning, we can come together and say, there are a few things that need to be taken care of before others. However, I would like to say, once again, this is going to take time to go through these contracts. We cannot do it in a day, we cannot do it in a week, and we probably can't do it in a month. So you're gonna have patience here. When we say, yes, we're gonna look at the posted contract, we will. That's why we're here. We're volunteers. If we didn't care, we wouldn't be here. My goal is to prove to you that we do care and we'll do our jobs. And there's no other way to say it.
The lawyer.
I don't know, again, we don't know what the contract with Hope is. I don't anyway. And so you're asking us questions sometimes tonight that we just simply don't have answers to. We're gonna look, we are going to look, but we need a little bit of time.
Okay, lawyers. Unfortunately, I had the opportunity to talk to a whole bunch of them, all right? And a lot of it over HOA issues, all right? Some of the comments that I got was, how the hell do you people operate? Yeah, we understand that there's a problem here, and as far as the lawyer that we currently have, it's very interesting that there's been some opinions in the past from the same law firm, different lawyer, but the same law firm, and they're totally different paths of what, the advice has been given lately. So I would definitely dig into that, and find out basically the same thing. We have to look at the contract, see what's going on with that. And I have some very, good questions for the attorney. If you guys put me on, we're gonna take and really dig down into some of these opinions that, we've been getting and find out kind of what's been going on.
Now, I know you're unhappy with the lawyer, so obviously it needs to be looked at and find out what the problem is there. So I agree with you, fix that. And what was the other question? We've been up to so long. Is what?
Host America.
Oh, is Host America some of your internet providers? Is that what you're saying? No? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I have Optimum since I moved here with fiber. I've had zero problems for $50 a month. So I'm familiar with that, but obviously that needs to be looked at so that everybody has maybe some competition and maybe a cheaper price if that's what you're going for. So yeah, why not consider it? There's plenty of ways to do it. So why not consider that?
First, on the question of Host America, I would have no problem with making the contract available for review. It was probably something that should have been done in the beginning, before they were given the okay to come in. It's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. So yes, any and all contracts should be available to be reviewed by the individual members as part of why we're here. So yes, figure that's going to take place. The attorney, that's a darn good question. I think there needs to be a total review of what's taken place, what kind of legal advice we have been given over the last few years. And if, as I suspect, it hasn't been the best or most proper, then we need to make a change.
The gentleman at the microphone is supposed to be the last question, and I see that the line grew.
I'm gonna have my second question.
It's okay.
It's not about second question, it's the other one is about our time for this thing. So, one moment, please. So I am going to ask the people that are here if they're willing to stay until everyone's asked their question. Your question, sir.
On a positive note, would you guys, if you're elected to the board, out here, number one, take the Point Restaurant, turn it into a single contract with somebody that will run the restaurant and run a little snack shop out here off of this Harbor Club, and then put in so that snack shop works, will work. Put in a little bocce ball, a little horseshoe, a little croquet, and a few other little things. They can go in along the water here or across the street, and then we can kind of come over here and get us a little hot dog or a drink or something, and that would make everybody happy and we can come together a little bit more.
I'm very glad you asked that question. We have had lots of suggestions about that, and most of them are very good. At this time, we don't have a plan, and we need to get one. But I think there's a lot of good things that you just said. Thank you.
Can I comment on that, please? I'm going to comment on your question personally because I am the chairperson of the Harbor Club Utilization Committee. Everything that you just said has been in every meeting we've talked about, okay? So what you need to understand is this committee started trying to organize activities in this building in October. And we have been meeting diligently. And just so you know, at our last meeting, bocce was very seriously considered. Ping pong table for here was very seriously considered. There is now a little cabinet in the screened-in area that has games in it for anybody that comes up here. They're free for everyone to play. The beautiful landscape, we want to be able to utilize exactly what you're talking about. And everything you said is a point. Honest to goodness, I'm not making this up. There's a couple people from the committee here, and they will verify the fact that we have talked about every single point you just made. Having a little snack bar here, whatever we can do to get more people into this facility is exactly what we've talked about. So you're right on with that question and with that comment, and we thank you for that. because that makes me feel better, and I'm sure it makes the people on my committee feel better as well.
Thank you. Okay, the point. Well, let's just start kind of like, I think what we need to actually do a little bit of a study on is, I think first of all, the restaurant, the golf course needs to be separated business-wise from us in the community. Each one profit and loss, so all of us can track it, you know, and it's not jumbled into one giant figure and then they tell you, well, here it is, and everybody, even people that really know bookkeeping and stuff, is having a hard time kind of trying to figure this stuff out. It shouldn't be that difficult on the thing. And as far as the utilization of this building, let's hit that real quick. Community input, that's all I'm gonna say. This building, we're paying for, unfortunately, so the bottom line is that poll the people, poll the people, poll the people, and, you know, publish everything, have meetings on this stuff. Just don't go out and do it on your own, because that's how we got this building and the problems that we got.
I think you just heard Jim Anderson say he's on the Harbor, he chairs the Harbor Club Utilization Committee. So they're already hearing that. Your requests are being made known, people are talking about it, and that's way to figure out what is it people want. Is it feasible money-wise, or do you get some volunteers to do some of this? Obviously, it's important to you, and let them know, and then maybe something will actually happen. That's the only way I can answer that question. Obviously, that's important, but you have a club, and it seems like these committees are a way to then finally consolidate stuff, find out what do people want. It's a great idea. Let's see what happens over a period of time while it's put together. No applause.
I agree with Rich 100%. I think we need to take the restaurant and the golf course, separate them. We need to have separate accountings on both of them. No more blended reports. We need to see what's working, what isn't working. As I had stated earlier, one of my main goals is to get the people from Sherman in here and to hold their feet to the fire. I want to see a plan. I want to see a plan for the next 2-3 years. Their contract is coming up in 29. They want that to be issued. They better have a plan in place, and we better be making money by that time. Otherwise, there's no reason to renew the contract with them. As far as this building is underutilized to the max. There's a lot of things that can and should be done. As I said in my opening statements, as it is right now, this is a money pit. This is a black hole. And we have to do something to get that turned around. There's great potential here, but we need to pursue it and make it happen.
Yes, sir, your question.
Dan Ritter. Ladies and gentlemen, this question is very simple. And what I'm looking for is a yes or no answer. If you decline, that's perfectly fine. But my question to you is, on the 5th day after giving proper notice, after being installed as an officer, are you willing to call for a special meeting and vote the change from 67% back to the 50% plus 1? Simple yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, because that seems like it's gonna heal this community.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am, your question?
Would you guys consider giving a discount to the golf membership, because apparently with the current raise in the membership fees, that's where we lost a lot of, members. So, you know, from what I've heard is, you know, that's why a lot of them have left. So would you consider doing a discounted, membership for the residents, which apparently we don't have? Thank you.
I find it hard to comprehend when we're losing money to discount the fees so we can lose more money. That is counterproductive.
No. So it basically, you know, anybody who has any business sense, would know that you're gonna get more with volume, with a cheaper price than you do with more of a overall membership. So now you get less members, and apparently, I think it speaks for itself. You've already lost membership by raising it.
Okay.
So, there's more involved.
The candidate's answering your
I've
question.
never subscribed to the theory that we lose money on every purchase, but we'll make up for it in volume. That doesn't work. Flat answer to your question. Cutting prices when you're already in a deficit does not improve your bottom line. We need to make it more desirable, not cheaper.
No, no comment. This is a no. This is confusing.
Okay.
Okay. But you're right. You don't lose more money by.
Golf.
You don't sell the product, it's good people.
I don't play golf, so I'm gonna tell you right up front that basically my knowledge is gonna be limited on this. But as a business person, okay, I'm going to tell you that there has to be ways for us to make extra money. The golfers in this community basically are getting screwed over, and I'll tell you why. Because we're funding a golf course that's losing money, so you're paying that way. And then, hey, by the way, you're gonna go ahead and pay the membership, and, well, we just raised that too, so you're paying twice for the thing, okay? We have to find a way to possibly, you know, figure out if we can do the membership a little bit better on that, okay? And also, I think that, and this gets to an amenity question, that we're not getting no amenities for our money at all in here. So the issue needs to be, basically, I think with the golf, we have to find something that's not gonna take it and spend a lot of money on, but give you something for your money, okay? Now, it may be just going to the driving range and giving you a bucket of balls, but I'm gonna tell you what though, you have at least something, okay? And the bottom line is that, you know, you need to get something. And maybe with those people driving that bucket of balls, they're gonna go, hey, you know what? I like doing this. Maybe I'll go out on the golf course and spend some extra money we can take a round.
I know nothing about golf. I can tell you that I don't agree that we should decrease the amount of money it costs for a round. I don't think it will work. We need to find some new innovative ways, and I don't know what that is in golf. But there must be something like extra cups of coffee, extra beers at the end of the month, something for free. And that will get them at least part of the way. I'm not telling them case, I'm saying KB. And they'll stay and they'll talk to one another. And maybe Richie's right, we need to give something to the golfers.
I've played a lot of golf. I am a golfer. Been on a lot of golf courses, a lot of different places, played the PGA, professional golf courses. I've been around, I've played a lot. Never played competitively. I'm not saying I played PGA. I played on PGA courses, not very well sometimes. But I have to tell you that our golf course, if you look at the other golf courses in Craven County and in the surrounding counties, is the least expensive golf course you can play. Okay? And the membership for our golf course is really inexpensive. Let me give you an example, okay? Go to Carolina Colors. Their membership is a couple $1,000s more than ours. Go to Taberna, the same way. Go to Emerald, you don't even want to know how much more it is, okay? Our golf course has improved. When I first came here looking at houses, I wouldn't have given you $10 to play on that golf course, okay? It was horrible. It has improved massively. And the amount of money that we pay, I can tell you, it is less than what you're paying at other golf courses in this area. Okay? So what we're getting on that golf course is probably a lot for your money. And there's a lot of people that come here and play that I've talked to that love this golf course, that are not members of this community. So if you're not a golfer, look into it, because I think you'll find some differences in what some people may say.
Thank you. Yes, sir. You have our last question. Make it a good one.
Hopefully. I'll save the most difficult one for last. Nate Howard, 5604 Donald. Jimmy made a statement earlier that said that the board is the management company for the community. I've been here for better or for worse. I've been a homeowner for 3 years. We also owned a townhouse over in Marina Towns for a couple of years before that. This place has been grumpy the entire time. We've voted people out. We've got 2 lawsuits right now. I've heard transparency in every single election. Guess what? Haven't seen it. And the people that have been voted in to try to work that have quit because they haven't been allowed to be transparent.
And your question is?
I'm getting to it. So I always get to it. What are you going to do to make that change? To walk in as a new member of this board to the old members and get them to change their ways. What are you going to do? Because I'll tell you what, I'm fed, and I know a lot of other people are too. That's it.
Well, as Bill Clinton used to say, I feel your pain. And yes, I understand, we've all talked about transparency. People have been talking about transparency for a couple of years now. That makes me any better than the rest of them? Because you have my word. I will have it happen, we will make it happen. We will get the contracts open so that you can see them, so that we all know what's going on. As I said in my opening statements, one of the things that I'm going to require is you people get active. I'm not going to just sit here and bloviate and tell you. You tell me. I want it to be from the ground up. If you let us know what it is you expect us to do, give us some marching orders so we know, rather than running into the wall, we get it done the way you want it.
And just to be clear about me, I'm actually a member of the board advisory panel, and I'm on the Green Space Committee somewhat. So I've been very active in this community, and I try and I try and I fail. I'll be honest with you. I think that there's a severe problem with people volunteering here. They're so disenchanted because of the way this board has been run for 3 years. And I'm not picking on any individual board member. There's something wrong, and there are endemic problems to our little society here in Fairfield Park.
If you're expecting me to defend them, I'm not going to. That's one of the reasons why I'm running. It's gotta end, and it's gotta end now.
Thank you.
And I want to be part of that. Thank you.
You sort of read my mind. I had in one of my closing remarks, this particular statement. The mystery is what happens to directors after they get on the board? They change, adapt to the culture, environment, or they resign. Does that sound like what's been going on?
Absolutely.
Okay. So me, the new guy here after a year, hearing some of this, trying to figure out what changed, what is changing people after they get on there, and then they don't seem to respond to what I'm part of you, that has disenchantment what's going on. Again, once you get on there, you find out what is the environment, what's going on in there that changes people from they saying they're going to do this to do something else. So that, I'll just answer that way right now, and then I'll have some more to say to close.
Okay. Day one. First of all, I can't do it by myself. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to need help, and that's going to be from you people, okay? I'm also going to tell you that I would like this, we're running as a team, Ann Simpson, myself, and Bill Oberberg. I would like you to vote for all three of us, because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a team. We're going to need to get in there, and we're going to have people that are basically going to say, we want this stuff now, okay? I have day one, I have ready to go a list of documents that I want. And I just don't want it for myself, I want it for the whole board. The whole board needs to get it. And once we get it, it's the same thing. The POA, let the sun shine into this place, okay? Open the thing up and you know, there shouldn't be any secrets in here. You know, this isn't a government facility, you know, that we have to have everything secret. Things need to be out in the open, and we need to get things done. And the only way we're gonna get things done is we have to have the majority of people that think the same way and basically are willing to get this stuff done. I spent 30 years in this place, okay? And it's been now, at this point, because of exactly the reason that you came up to the microphone for, all right? I've worked for the last couple of years to put people in and got you for 30 seconds. And the thing being is that nobody can get it done. Well, I'm gonna have to step up now. I put myself out here, so I'm gonna get it done for you people. And that's what I need. We need you to vote for three of us so that we can get it done.
I agree, but I also have something to say. 3 is not a majority. A majority on the board will really get things done. And so that would be even better than 3. But the 3 of us have talked now for months about what we would do, how we would do it. And I think we really, truly all believe in the same things, where our goals are the same. We believe in, not that transparent word, we believe in honesty, we believe in hard work, and we are very persistent in what we do. And so, I think that what we're trying to say is we're trying to give you a voice for the whole community so that you'll all know everything legally we can tell you. There are some things that cannot be told. Other than those few things, there's not a whole bunch, but a few things, we are going to strive to, as quickly as possible, get that information out for you.
Last week, I started something that, if I'm elected, I will continue. Last week on Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning, I was sitting right out here in this Green Inn area. And I sent this out in my flyer to all of you, that you are welcome to come and ask me any question you have. Had about 16, and some of you sitting right here were there. I have 2 more meetings. This was part of my closing, so here it goes. I have 2 more meetings scheduled next week on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, 9 to 11. We have wonderful coffee and phenomenal baked goods. And on Thursday, I have a cooler of beer, water, and iced tea. And we have some chips and salsa, or some chips or little snack. Come and ask me. Come and talk to me. And if I'm elected to the board, that will continue. And I will be here for you to talk to me. That's the transparency you're asking for. And that's what I want to offer. There is no reason why board members cannot take time to sit and talk to me. And that's one of the main things that I want to do. And I feel that's very, very, very important.
Thank you. That concludes our question and answer portion of this evening. Our candidates now have 2 minutes to give you their closing remarks, and then we will be done. I'm sorry, why don't you come on up here?
Okay. My goodness. This is amazing.
First, I'd like to thank Celeste for being tonight's moderator. I'd like to thank all of the candidates for being here tonight, but most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the voters, the friends, the neighbors of Fairfield Harbor, for participating in this event. We have many opportunities and challenges facing us in the years ahead. I want to welcome and invite you to work together with Ann, Rich, and myself. Let's revive the spirit of togetherness and make Fairfield Harbor the best it can be. Again, thank you. I'm asking for your vote, I'm asking for your confidence, and I'm asking you for your support. God bless you all, and thank you for coming.
Well, what I've learned this evening, before I come in, there's 3 of the, there's 5 people running. Seems 3 have already been working together, and there's people like myself, and it looks like Jim Anderson, that are just on our own out here. Nothing wrong with that. Again, I haven't overemphasized, if you haven't heard me say before, I've been here a year, and it concerns me that there's deep wounds here. And from an emotional standpoint, that's what's driving all this stuff. I get that. One of the things that I'm writing down here, because I have a short amount of time, what I didn't say earlier is, again, just think outside the box. When board meetings, when possible, board meetings could be held in the evenings, if this would help in certain situations, or once a quarter on Saturdays outside the summer months to show consideration to those who are employed or cannot join a live video session. So again, trying to think out of the box and get more people involved, because guess what? The majority in here appears to be above 35. Now, granted, this has been a retirement community, but as you know, more people come in, and there was somebody in the audience that told me about a week ago that over the past year, 400 people have sold property and moved on to somewhere else, which meant that new people hopefully came in and that they were younger. And that could change the dynamic for long term, 32nd warning. So last thing, 2 quotes. Is it better to remain silent at the risk of being thought a fool than to talk or move all doubt about it? Hopefully I didn't put that into your thought process tonight. And the other one is, and we're going to substitute one word,
And this is from Margaret Thatcher, the problem with socialism is they eventually run out of other people's money. What I'm hearing from you is that the board made decisions and they were taking your money. We can't change that, but I'm asking you, please consider me as someone on there that can work for the board, because the board can't be, we don't want to be divisive within the board. I want to be able to work with them.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate everybody really taking their time and coming to listen to us for the last couple hours. We need to stabilize the association's finances. I've lived in this community for 3 decades, and I've invested in Fairfield Harbor for 30 years. So I believe in Fairfield Harbor. If I didn't, I wouldn't have made those investments. Basically, I don't believe that there should be any rules made that's imposed upon you unless you approve them. Your participation really in this community is important, and that's been lost, and we need to get that back. I would pledge to keep that open space green. I would recommend that we have a committee really to look over the governing documents, and basically also a committee really for the future of this harbor club. And like I have said before, that basically we should be entitled to a few amenities that we get for paying our dues. We need to have the open meetings, the minutes posted promptly, and financial reports on time. So I respectfully ask for your vote for me and for Ann and Bill for the BOA board. I take this responsibility seriously, and I know our team will do the same. Together, let's move this community forward. With your vote, we can make that happen. Thank you for listening. God bless Fairfield Harbor, and God bless the USA.
Oops.
You're up.
Here's the phone.
I would like to thank you all for taking the time, your valuable time, to come to this building and listen to us to talk about how we would make this community better. I believe the three of us together are a great team. We're very diverse in our pasts and how we bring things forward. And therefore, that's how we meld together to make a good team. I'd like to thank the moderator, Celeste, for assisting us tonight. I would like the personnel that is filming us tonight. I don't see anybody over there, so I don't know what that means.
That's Dan's
Kathleen's
operation.
back there.
Who?
Kathleen's back there.
No, the other one.
The one on the right is Dan's.
Oh, it's Dan.
That's Dan's,
Oh, okay. The maintenance staff for setting up the room, and Sarah, Kathleen, and Jennifer for coordinating everything for this evening. I hope you will vote for me for the position of director of the board, on the board of directors. I really want to give everyone in the community a voice, which we have not been able to use and has not been heard for several years. Thank you very much.
I'm going to read a very short paragraph that was on an introduction letter that went into your brown boxes. I believe, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe as with any community, there are items to be discussed and possible items that need to be adjusted or changed. I will work diligently to hear from our residents and try to make our quality of life comfortable for all. I'll work to try to resolve some of the differences which have been brought forth for the betterment of all of our residents. My experience has afforded me skills including attentive listening, negotiating, budgeting, discernment, and just basically getting things done. Thank you for being here this evening. I'm not one of the three, but I'm very strong and I'm very honest. I've said nothing to you this evening that I don't believe in. And I believe wholeheartedly in this community. It's a beautiful community. And we can make it together better. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you again soon.
Can you use this one?
Thank you very much for staying till the bitter end. I think that's a voting term. I would ask you to keep in mind and help us out. There are about 3,000 people in Fairfield Harbor, and there are not 3,000 people here. So I would encourage you to encourage your friends and neighbors to vote, because that's what the system is that we have at this time for getting things changed or kept the same or whatever it is that we would like to do. Please have a good night and safe travels, and be careful going to your cars.
No, that's good to know.
I don't think we have any light.